to What the Why with Barbara Ann, one of RVN's still newer-ish television shows. If you're joining us for the first time, our show features conversations with diverse leaders from all walks of life about why they do what they do and how they figured things out. Maybe you happen to feel stuck and want to get unstuck. Maybe you are sick and tired of feeling sick and tired. One thing that all of our guests have in common with you is at some point in their lives, they felt similarly and they decided to do something to change or pivot their direction. And today's guest is no exception. Our guest today is Eric Anzalone. Eric is an account and client manager with Pulse One IT, defined by 3 words in their logo: people, technology, and progress. They provide managed IT services and solutions with an emphasis on people and strong relationships. Now, this is the capacity in which I first met Eric through LinkedIn. And had I taken the time to click that See More Experiences, I would have learned a little bit more about the person that I was speaking with. So let's see some pictures and a little bit of video about what I mean. So Eric is an account manager, a customer success manager, but he has this whole other persona. Eric is one of the former members of the Village People. Yes, the Village People. If you happen to look for the biker in this video, you will see that is Eric. Eric was in the Village People from 1995 to 2019, where he was a star on the Hollywood Walk of Fame, toured, participated in Family Feud, did all kinds of wonderful things. Now, what's interesting about that is during the time that he was with the Village People, he also owned his own production company known as Buck and Finch Productions, which he owned since 1998. And in all of the touring and the video shooting and the movie, one of my favorite movies, Down Periscope, as soon as I found out from Eric what the group that he had been in, I went and got the movie out so I could watch the Village People perform during the credits. But in addition to that, he also went to school at Arizona State University, where he earned his bachelor's degree in film and media, and then went on to earn his master's degree in American media and popular culture. He has multiple certifications, including being a certified associate in project management through the Project Management Institute, and he has a 120-hour teaching English to speakers in other languages certification, also known as TESOL. So he's very passionate about volunteerism, and one of the projects that he was actually in my role, where he actually kind of featured, hosted, and interviewed a video on World Kindness Day. So he is a really multifaceted person with many different careers. So without further ado, please welcome Eric Anzalone.
I'm here. What?
I know, you're here.
I know.
So Eric and I, it was like, okay, I think this person must have been my best friend in another life if we had them the minute I met him, and we were supposed to meet for a half hour, ended up meeting for an hour and a half.
Yeah, it was.
And I did not even know. I was so impressed with all of the other things he'd done. I didn't even know till we got towards the end of the interview, and he kept talking about he was part of the Kings of Disco, and it just wasn't clicking because you do still tour with the Kings of Disco, formerly members of the Village
People. That works.
So that's the official name.
Right.
But young Eric growing up, I don't know that you imagined that you were going to be doing all of these different things in the course of your life. So let's start there. One of the main questions I ask all of our guests is, what did you want to do when you were little, Eric?
I still want to do it, by the way. Anyone at NASA listening? No. I always wanted to be an astronaut. And with all the advances in space travel these days, I'm jonesing so bad to get up there and be like William Shatner and be shot into space, even if just for a couple minutes. But Yeah, so I wanted to be an astronaut, and then that slowly morphed into being a performer, being an actor. By the time I hit high school, I had decided I'm gonna be a performer, singer, actor, dancer, whatever. I just want to perform, create, write, and I went for it, so to speak. And
So from high school, deciding you wanted to create, write, perform, how did that path take you to
where I am.
to where you are?
How long is this show?
I know, and we always run out of time, so
I know.
we can always bring it back for part 2.
And there's people that are like, oh, they're an overnight star, overnight success. That doesn't happen. So with me, basically, in a nutshell, I went to school. Right after I graduated from high school, I went to high school in Santa Barbara, California. So moved to Los Angeles to be a big actor. Also graduates from my high school, like just a few years prior, were Anthony Edwards, Eric Stoltz. And so I was thinking, I'm gonna follow in Tony and Eric's path. And so I moved to LA, and all I did was basically party for a year. I was into heavy metal at the time. This was back in the early 80s.
Yeah.
And the Sunset Strip was, it was the place to be. So I was in rock and roll metal bands. I went and partied with the metal bands, and I got a little sidetracked. My dad said, this is crazy, come to Miami, I'll put you through school. And I thought, oh, I could get into the musical theater department, or get into the theater conservatory and actually study this. So I did. I went to Miami. I got into the department. I studied for 2 years, and I decided to quit school. I'm not saying anyone out there should quit school, but that was the choice I made because I wanted to work. And when you were in the theater conservatory, you weren't allowed to work professionally. You had to wait till you were graduate. And I thought, what am I doing here? I wanted to work. So I packed up my stuff, quit school. My dad was very upset with me. Sorry, Dad. Packed up my car, drove back to Los Angeles, and never looked back. Within a year, I was getting my Actors Equity card, my union card, my first card, after card. Soon SAG and AFTRA came, and then jobs started coming. I did multiple tours in Europe with shows and with orchestras singing. I ended up singing on Princess Cruises for a year. I ended up in the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, which led me to New York City, where I stayed, and then I answered an ad and ended up in the Village People and just kept going. But that's sort of what got me to where I am today. It was, I just decided I had a vision and I wanted to go for it, and I did.
So it's interesting that the Village People, you had such a long run.
Yeah.
And so I'm just curious, of all of the different things that you could have chosen, what was it about the Village People that was so fascinating for you?
Well, they chose me.
Okay.
Like most things in show business, I got the gig. I saw an ad in the Village Voice, and it said, well-known group looking for a singer with a passport. And having worked with the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, I had money saved up. And I didn't have to get a job immediately, a gig. So I thought, well, I'll get into a band. Because I wasn't looking to make money, I was just looking to do something artistic, and being in a band was something I'd always done. Been singer, rhythm guitar player. And so I got a call from them about a month later. I sent my stuff, got a call. They said, hey, we saw your resume, we got your demo. They liked my touring experience. Like I said, by that point I had done multiple European tours. I'd done multiple tours in the United States. I knew how to tour. And so I got the gig. So they kind of chose me, and it was pretty crazy because I'd never pictured myself in the Village People. I was maybe pictured myself in a band like, at the time, the groups I was looking to join was more like a Blink 182 or Korn even, that's more my speed, not disco and dance music. So, but the Leather and Chains, I replaced Glenn Hughes, who's the original biker in the Village People. I replaced him, and it was an honor to fill that leather, and and change. But yeah, so there was that. That was cool. All my metalheads could relate to the leather and
so
chains.
you got to keep that piece of you.
Yes, I did.
Very Queen, actually.
Very Queen, yes.
Hey, Freddie Mercury could pull it off. You
That's
pulled it
right,
off, too.
Freddie, yeah.
So you're in the Village People, you have this demanding schedule, but you still had a life as well.
Yes.
And you decide, at some point you're going to go back to school, and you have a family.
Yes.
And
Well, let's unpack that for a second. Yes,
Sure.
I had always, in the back of my head, decided I was going to go back to school at some point. And in 2009, I finally did it. And I had to find a program that could work with my schedule. I mean, we were doing 200 days a year, sometimes 300,000 miles a year.
Yeah, I mean, that's incredible. And really, there was still not a lot of programs that were flexible from a learning perspective at that time.
There weren't, but Arizona State, it's a
one of
great
them.
school, and I wanted to get a degree in film. Theater. Not that the Village People are theater, but having worked professionally in the business for, by that point, many years, I wanted to expand my horizons and go to school and actually learn something. I've already been in the business, now I'm just learning more. I wanted to learn something new. So my film degree is actually with an emphasis on race and gender representation.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Which helps to explain and inform some of the other things that you've done.
Absolutely
as well.
does, yeah.
Okay, because I want to come back to that.
Okay.
Because I know you've been really a lot of emphasis on inclusion and diversity and things like that. So you're going to school and you're touring, you're juggling all of these things. How did you find the time to prioritize everything?
Well, I guess it's kind of like when you're in it, you just do it. I don't think about it. I'm a little OCD.
Okay.
So prioritizing is like something I enjoy.
Okay. I resemble that.
Yes, I'm sure. I know. Yes, but it was difficult, and I'm not perfect at it, and certainly things fell through the cracks. I don't want to say I regret anything, but I wouldn't change anything. But I may make a few different choices. I don't necessarily believe that they're mistakes. I believe that
There were learning opportunities.
They're just different choices, right? Exactly. But my daughter is now she just turned 24 a couple days ago, and for a good part of her life, I was on the road. I mean, when I'd be home, but at the same time, I'd be gone for a week. Here, 3 days there, wait there. So that was rough. That was rough. Now that she's older and on her own, I'm like,
You're your baby.
Yeah.
So, all right, so we're going to come back and talk more about that, as well as your passion for inclusion and diversity in the arts and in general, and also what you do in the technology world these days as well.
Yes.
So please come back after this commercial break for more of our conversation with Eric Anzalone. Welcome back to What the Why with Barbara Ann and today's very special guest, Eric Anzalone, who is an account and client success manager with Pulse One, and also an internationally owned. Well, they may think, your fans probably do think they own you based on what I saw on Google, but
some of them do.
Internationally known performing artist with the Kings of Disco, formerly members of the Village People, which pretty much explains that he used to be with the Village People, and more specifically, the biker.
That's correct.
But you do so many other things as well, and you were talking about your daughter, and now she's 24, and you're passionate about making sure that the world is a better place for her and everybody else that comes with it. So one of the first things I actually saw you in, short of bringing up the video, was the Kindness Project.
Dance for Kindness?
Dance for Kindness, the world's dance, World Kindness Day event.
Yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about some of the things you do along those lines, especially as it relates to trying to expand inclusion and diversity in the different aspects of your work.
Yeah, well, I wrote and co-hosted a show called What Matters Most, which we did a special episode on Dance for Kindness. And we tried to find, kind of like you have what the why, what matters most. That was the thing we'd always ask people. And that was my favorite episode that we did with Orly Waba and her foundation and Dance for Kindness. I think that life is all about, living. And when I say that, I mean, one of my biggest faults is I get focused on what I'm doing and I forget to just stop and smell the roses or feel the sunshine on my face. And then I think about how blessed I am, and a lot of people I know, and we're able to stop and smell the roses and feel the sunshine.
But you give me way too much credit, because that's something that took me
to
figure out as well.
Well, but that's something we're blessed to be able to do. Yes. That. There are a lot of people in this world that aren't. They can't. They're just worried about getting by, or because they're a different race or different religion. It's not the same.
No, it's not.
And
we're not all in the same boat, and even those who are in the same boat don't necessarily have the same oars, the best seats, however you want to describe it. We're all coming at this from very different perspectives, very different places.
Yes, we are.
Very different starting lines and different resources along the way.
Right. So getting back to the episode you were referring to, I put a lot of time into that episode. It was a world event where everyone was involved, and it was just about dancing together. I mean, something basic like that. And I found it fascinating and inspiring, and actually won a little Telly Award, bronze for Telly for editing. I mean, I really put in a lot of time in that. But I think it's very important that we recognize that, we're not all the same, right. But we're all in this together,
That's true. I mean, that's the big thing. I mean, we're short of them colonizing Mars or the moon.
Right.
We're kind
Which
of
I want to go. I want to go there.
Yeah, I'd really like to go too. It's funny because I wanted to be a billion things when I was little, but astronaut was definitely on that list. Who would you say were 2 or 3 of the most influential as part of your journey to where you are now?
Well, this is easy, and it's got to be, my parents, both in their own way. They pushed me on my way without getting too much involved, which I appreciated. If you raise your children correctly when you let them go, hopefully, Samantha, I'm watching, they make the correct or the better choices. Definitely my parents, this may sound cliched, but my high school drama teacher, Mrs. Luke, we're very, I guess, impressionable when we're in high school, but what I learned from her, and I'm going to expand that to my University of Miami years with Buckets Lowry, my acting coach, my acting teacher at University of Miami. He definitely, the best acting teachers teach you about your craft, but you learn so much about yourself and the world around you if they're doing it correctly. It's not just memorizing lines, so it's going inside. And so I would have to say my parents, Mrs. Luke, Buckets, there's a million other people I'm sorry, I didn't write them all down. I didn't know we were going to be asked that. I was going to be asked that question. But
That's okay.
but yeah, but you know, at face value or first glance, I would definitely say those four.
Well, someday when you give your next music award speech or Academy Award speech,
Right.
whatever that may be, you can have your list.
Yes.
You go back, because I forgot to mention on What the
Right.
Why, I want to make sure I get all these people's names.
That's right.
who were-
Who the why, not what the why.
Who the why. You know,
Yeah.
now we can rename all of the people that I forgot to mention during that interview years ago.
Right, exactly.
So, in terms of your industry, I mean, so many people have a perception of what it means to be famous and to work in the industry. What would you say is one or two of your biggest lessons learned about the business itself? Because there's probably some people out there, my nephew may be one of them, he's finishing up his degree in film right now
Right.
at a local university and has been working in this space for the past 10 years. What would you say to them in terms of entering and working in this space?
First, don't, how do I put this? If you're in it for the money and the fame, you're in it for the wrong reasons. Not saying that you won't have money and you won't be famous, but when you get to the end, if that's all you were in it for, that's kind of empty. You gotta love it because it's not easy. Again, it's not easy. The fame part, and with the Village people, nobody really they would know that we're a band, but they wouldn't really know who we were, but we'd all be together unless we were in our costumes, then it was pretty obvious. But we always knew that the persona of the band was bigger than we were. I'm just a dork who wears leather and chains. That's the way I like to put it. I look cool.
A heavy metal dork.
A heavy metal dork. I look cool, but yeah, really, I'm just a nerd, and one of the things is don't lose your confidence. Artists tend to beat themselves up a lot. Just do what you do as well as you can do it, and let it go. Don't overcorrect. One of the biggest mistakes I made was early in my career when I was called back for a Broadway show. I was like my second or third callback for a Broadway show, and I didn't like the way it went. And I made a mistake by confronting the casting agent and telling them I could do a lot better and that I need to do it better, and instead of letting it go. And I think that was the wrong choice to make.
Okay, because all they knew, it was your better.
Right, and had I just kept my mouth shut, but I kind of went out of my way to do it, and then I kind of looked weird, and that was awkward. Don't ever do that. Just let it go and say, you know what, it is what it is. Be confident that you did your best and move on. And you could say that with anything, actually.
Yeah, you're right, but it is an industry that is highly critical. Everything's about the external, so it's fantastic that you had an acting instructor
Right.
who helped you focus on the internal so
Right.
that you would have the strength to do that. But it does take strength to be
Yeah.
able to keep going. So how did you find the strength to overcome the fear to keep going when you did run into situations like that?
You just dig down and you find it. Probably by not dwelling on the situation and just focusing on, again, this is what I chose to do. This is what makes me happy. So just do it. And again, I've transferred it into what I do now as an account manager for Pulse One. We put people first. Mm-hmm. And that's no joke. We're a managed service provider. Everyone's got IT problems, but there's always a person behind that computer. There's a company that owns that firewall or server, and they've got this idea. It's all people driven. So as an account manager, I get to talk to people, communicate to people. Again, it's connecting. That, for me, that's what it's about. It's not about computers or servers or firewalls.
It's the
it
people.
is, but it's the people.
Because that's what I'm hearing. I'm hearing somebody who is happy just connecting and being passionate and helping or entertaining or enjoying people, whether it's with Pulse One or when you're traveling around the world. You've found your why and your happiness in that.
Yeah. Wow, I feel like I'm in therapy right now. Yes, but that's true. I never really thought of it that way, but it is true. Village people, technology, progress, it's all kind of coming together now, right, on this show. But yeah, I mean, that's why we're here. And, you know, when all is said and done, again, if you weren't looking out the window and watching the world or smelling the flowers or feeling that sun on your face, and you are blessed to have the opportunity to do so, then I really think you're missing out on something. It's not about the end destination, it's about the journey. And I mean, I know that's cliched, but it is so true. That's why we're here, for the journey, not, although I like to say that I think sliding into the grave is a great idea. If you're gonna live, right?
Yep.
But, you know.
And believe it or not, we're at time. That's the perfect note to
my
end
God.
on. I
Okay.
know, it's so fast. Oh man, I have to figure out when we're going to do another one, or we'll figure it out.
Yeah, I mean.
So thank you. In terms of people that want to connect with you, and for those of you who follow the show online, you'll also have a lot of different links to his information. But what's the best way for people to find you?
Well, you know, I'm at Pulse One, so, but LinkedIn, I'm on Pulse One. What's up, guys? You know, so I'm on LinkedIn. That's probably the best way to find me.
Of course, they can all go just Google.
You could Google Eric Anzalone and see me in all my glory.
Kings of Disco, which
Right.
has been doing intermittent tour dates.
Yeah, we've done some shows. Omicron kind of put a damper on the rest of this year, but we got some stuff coming up, so that's always out there, and yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking time to be here.
Absolutely.
And Eric Anzalone, everybody, my most unique guest to date. But it's not like we hit the top yet, because I don't want you to think, oh man, this is the episode, because we've got some other really exciting guests coming up as well, just different exciting. And one of them is also somebody that I've known for years, but a different bent. Her name is Dr. Jacqueline Mejas Fuertes, and she is the Regional Director of the America's Small Business Development Center at the Brookdale Community College in New Jersey, which is an official partner of the U.S. Small Business Administration. And so you're going to get to learn all kinds of acronyms, but also what she does as an entrepreneur, small business leader, as well as a strategist, advocate, and speaker, and most importantly, a change maker. And she's done some really innovative things there during her tenure as the regional director of the Small Business Development Center there. As you know, What the Why airs every Tuesday and Thursday at 1 p.m. Eastern Time, as well as 3:30 p.m. on Mondays. We're also available at rvntelevision.com and on Roku, and coming soon to additional platforms. And always remember, whether you're looking to make changes in your life or career, big or small, please join us again for more inspirational and informative conversations with people such as Eric, who chose to, decided to pivot whatever, to make changes in their life and overcome any fears or obstacles that might have been in their path to find their purpose and live it.